welcome to Friday Nights with Neisha, yours truly. So happy you are able to join me tonight. Tonight I'm talking about a topic known as asking. The topic says asking. So welcome on, join in. Thank you guys for joining in. Look, remember the purpose of Friday Nights with Neisha is to teach what I have been taught so that people can do better and be better in their everyday life. So tonight we're talking about asking. And I remember when I was watching this show with, I think it was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I was watching it and I saw that Will Smith, you guys know Will Smith, he wanted something from his Uncle Phil, and he went straight up to him and said, Uncle Phil, can I borrow your most your expensive car? It was a Jaguar, and he asked him if he could borrow it. And you know what Uncle Phil did? No, first of all, Will, as the nephew that he is not even related to him, but related to him by marriage, he went up to Uncle Phil and boldly, not asked for just a cup of tea, but asked to borrow one of his most expensive cars. That was boldness. And Uncle Phil was the one who turned to him and said, you know what? I'm gonna lend you my car. And he called him son. While Carlton, who was the son really, was very worked up about trying to impress his dad. He was working, trying to impress his father. And because of his doing, he missed being his son, because he was so worked up trying to please his dad. Completely missed being his son. And when I was watching it, it's like I took away a lesson from it that I want to share with you today, and I hope you benefit from it. I know you will, as long as you listen with an open mind and just interpret what I'm saying from, in a fresh way, not based on your past experience, but in a fresh way. You will get what I'm saying tonight. The lesson I took from it was that there is something with the same way as God and us. God is really our daddy. And the Bible talks about if anybody who comes up, who is bold enough to ask, he will not turn them away. The Bible says you don't receive because you don't ask. Alright? Even in Isaiah, God said God was saying, come, let us reason together. He was inviting someone to come to him to reason with him. That's wow. God is saying to you and me, come, let's reason together. Look at Abraham when he wanted to rescue Lot. He basically bargained with God and said, God, if there is 50 people in the city, then don't burn it down, and then God was saying, I don't see 50 people, and he said, okay, if there's 40, and he kept going lower and lower. He was bargaining with God, he was asking boldly. That's the kind of asking I'm talking about, what we should be doing. You understand? So it doesn't matter if you have been born again 20 years or 20 hours. It doesn't matter. Hello, Danielia. Nice to see you. It doesn't matter if you're born again for 20 years or 20 hours. You must know that God is your daddy. And if you treat him as your daddy, you will ask whatever it is that you want, and ask in faith, boldly. The Bible talks about, now that you know that I'm your dad, come up to the throne and ask boldly what it is that you desire, and I will give. This is what Christ says. I will give just what you've been asking for. So Uncle Phil was not even Will's father. Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was not even Will's daddy. As a matter of fact, he was, but because of how he came up to him boldly and asked, he ended up calling him son. Yeah. He ended up calling him son. And I want to read to you a poem from a book called, well, this poem called My Wage. It says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scantish store. For life is just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life would have willingly paid. In other words, what I learned is that God says, ask anything, and anything is really a blank check. If somebody hand over to you a blank check, it is up to you what you put on the blank check, that which you receive. Is the same way it is with our life. Whatever it is that we ask for, we receive. No, to ask big, because listen, if it's a blank check, you have to ask. If you ask for $1, you get $1. If you ask for $1 billion, you get $1 billion. It's just up to your asking, and how big can you think? How big can you dream? How big can you ask? That is the question. That's the question. So it depends on you. You receive from your Father just what you ask, as long as you're bold enough to do it. So Will asked Uncle Phil for his most expensive car, which is a Jaguar, and he bargained with it for an even more expensive one. So you have to dream big. How can you dream big? You have to think big. How can you think big? By what you see, filtering what you see, what you hear, what you listen to. You can't build a skyscraper thinking like a bungalow mentality. That's what I hear somebody said, and I'm repeating it. You can't build a skyscraper with a bungalow mentality. In other words, the whatever way you think, that's what you receive, right? So you got to think big, so you can ask big, so you can receive big from your big Father. Your God is big. Alright? So dream big. Your Father wants you to ask whatever it is that you want. You ask for it. Okay? So I really hope you understand what I'm saying tonight. Remember the Bible verses that says, know that you know, come boldly and receive, and come boldly and ask that which you want, so that you may receive your help in your time of need. Come boldly, come boldly, come boldly and ask. So I love you, I love you, I love you with all of my heart. I hope you understand what I am saying tonight. I hope it blesses you tremendously. I know it will, as long as you allow it. It will bless you tremendously. It will cause you to think big, dream big, and do better and be better in your everyday life. I love you, I love you, I love you. And until next week, I want want to see you again. But before you go, please remember to treat yourself to a copy of my book called Krypton. This is my poems collection. A number of poems are in there. Over 60 poems are in there. Treat yourself to it. You are the one that will benefit. What's in there is actually priceless. The only reason why a price is attached to it is because it takes money to print. To print it, it takes money to design it. It takes money to ship it. But that's all you pay for it. But the content of it is priceless. So this is my second book. My first book is My Story to Good Health. A simple story of how I changed a crisis into an opportunity. I was sick and I got healed, and I wrote down everything. And the point of my books is to benefit you. So treat yourself to copies of them. If you want both of them, there is a special deal to get both of them. But the contents of my books is priceless. Can't be bought. But you pay for the paper and the time put into making these dreams a reality as well. So I love you with all of my heart, and God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. If you're just joining us, re-watch this video and send me your message. Let me know your feedback. Let me know how it has helped you, and bless you. And until next week, I love you. Mwah.